Got Your Eers On is brought to you by Tactical Legion 9.
All right, everybody, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Got Your Eers On. Guido here along with Scoot.
Hey!
And Johnson.
Guido, as your hair gets longer, so does the summer. But that means we're closer to football.
My hair is getting longer, growing the hair
Trying
out
to
a
figure out
little
where
bit, as
you're
you can
going
see
with that.
here on the podcast. But
we're in
yes,
the long days of summer, but short days until football.
what is this, episode 3, episode 4 of our summer episodes? Somewhere around there.
I think that's right, yeah.
You know, dropping in, checking in on everybody, giving a little bit of update of what's happening with WVU sports and sort of our thoughts on it. Johnson, camp has started, only weeks away from the Backyard Brawl. Some big news, I guess, as it pertains to the Backyard Brawl, guys. Game is officially sold out, and ESPN is coming to the Thursday night game and bringing game day there. So kind of big.
I'm going to warn everybody. If Lee Corso is involved, he typically will kind of rally the troops to make us think that he's going to pick us, and he's probably not going to pick us. So be prepared for that Panther head to go on
he
his...
likes to be the antagonist, though, right? Like, if he, I mean, technically, you would argue he would maybe pick us in this regard, right? Because he's going to be...
think he'll go coonskin cap?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he might fire up the Pitt fans because they're going to be at, this is a home game for Pitt. And then maybe he dons the coonskin. Who knows?
Here's my question. And because this is like, it's a Thursday night game, and I know it's like the kickoff for the football season. It's big for ESPN. Are we getting like the full game day crew? Like, is it a full game day, ESPN game day experience? Or is it going to be like, we're going to get some of the guys that we don't know, and maybe Corso will be like on his lanai in Florida doing prognosticating?
So you think we're going to get a part-time squad? We're going to get
that's what I was...
some replacement players.
No, I don't think so, Guido, because the tweet that they put out a bit ago was, the picture of the full Herbie and everybody sitting at the desk. So I took that to mean they're broadcasting live with the whole gang and the whole normal game day setup. That's what I'm thinking. Now, I will be disappointed if that's not the case, won't you? I mean, I feel like if we're going to do it, let's do it up correctly.
Who do you think they bring in as the guest picker?
Oh, that's a good. That's a good.
That's
question.
a good one. That's a good question. I mean, who kind of Hostetler? Would that be is that a big enough name?
That'd be funny.
It's got to be Pitt, though. It's got to be a Pittsburgh person.
Well, they couldn't do Juan Stash, right? Because he's affiliated with another. Is he still like a Fox guy?
Network.
Could he do
I think
that?
he's a Fox guy.
I've heard some people speculate Aaron Donald.
Okay. Well, people definitely knew who that is, so that would make sense.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm wondering, could it be maybe Michael Keaton?
Okay.
Batman?
Don't know.
Oh, maybe. I don't know what. I don't
know.
He's from Pittsburgh.
Gung Ho was a pretty good. But Gung Ho was one of my favorite movies.
I did like Gung Ho. That's funny.
Mark Cuban. He's a Pittsburgher.
Is he a Pittsburgher? I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
he's a Yinzer.
He's a Yinzer.
I thought you were going to throw out like a Darrell Rivas or somebody.
It's probably going to be a Kenny Pickett. To be honest with you, it probably would be a Kenny Pickett.
That would be funny. Yeah, that would be good.
Right.
He's kind of the golden. That's a good, the golden boy right now.
Right.
He is the golden boy.
Could be
now.
Marino. You think it would be Marino?
Yeah, that could. But isn't he? No, not anymore. Right. He used to do the NFL Today or whatever. He's not with that crew anymore, is he? So maybe
next show we'll make some predictions.
Yeah, we will. So, anyways, guys. So along with that, great sold out game. You're gonna have a stay. It's gonna be full of people there. Probably more Mountaineer. I'm anxious to see. Is it gonna be more Mountaineer fans? How loud are the Pitt fans gonna be? I mean, I can't imagine that it's not gonna be 70-30 WVU fans.
Well, let's talk about that though, because that's been a weeks long argument on the Twitterverse lately, Guido, and people were saying, well, come on, WVU fans only even had access to, their allocation of 8,000 tickets. And then there were WVU fans in those comments like, oh, bless your heart. You think we only stuck to the allotment that we were given and we didn't go out and buy mini packages and things like wacky stuff like that WVU I still get correspondence from Maryland from the time I bought a mini package to Twerps games, right? Just to get the WVU ticket. So we know people will do that. I don't know though. I'm assuming maybe, what do you think? Like 70-30 Pitt fans maybe, or 60-40 Pitt fans, 70-30 maybe is what I think.
Listen, honestly, I think it's going to be pretty close to 50-50. I mean, I think that WVU...
That would be great. That would be great. I would love that.
It'll be interesting. I was wondering with the allotment and how they did the tickets, I was kind of hoping it would be like the Red River rivalry, where you had like half the stadium is, gold and the other half the stadium is blue, Pitt colors and WVU colors. That would be awesome, but I doubt that'll happen. And on top of all of that, we've got to play not at Heinz Field, guys. We're playing at Acrisure Stadium.
Acrisure?
What is it called?
Yeah, I think it's Acrisure. Yeah, it really has a ring to it, doesn't it? Acrisure.
Yes, it does. It does. So it'll be interesting, Scooty. I mean, I think...
we'll just have to see how it goes.
I think Pitt fans are fired up, though. Like, in their defense of this sellout, I mean, I think they are excited for this game. I mean, I know we're definitely excited, but they're ranked to finish second in the Coastal. They're coming off this ACC title. I mean, I think they are. Pat Narduzzi's been talking a little smack in the preseason. I think they're feeling good about themselves, right? So I can see like their fans really showing, because we give them a hard time. We give them a hard time about empty seats.
I think they feel disrespected because they've not been very good. So they feel like we're coming in thinking we're hot stuff, and they're actually maybe hotter stuff. Well, I can tell you, they are hotter stuff than we are. So we'll see.
They've got something to be excited about right now. So I can see fans really showing up for this. Like, hey, let's stick it to the Mountaineers. We've got a good product. Let's show out and root for it. So, but I'm glad. I'm glad to see it's a sellout. I'm glad to see College Game Day.
It could be a battle of two transfer quarterbacks.
You say that, Scooty, but Neil Brown has continued to say that there's a competition for quarterback at WVU.
I think, does that hurt us or help us?
I think nobody believes it. I think that it's, everybody's like, okay, you keep saying that, Neil Brown.
Yeah, I can't imagine that that's nothing more than like coach speak, right? I mean, come on.
Right. I think it hurts at this point. Like I think the starter needs to know that they're the starter, and let's just move on. Like, I know you're probably stringing people along so they don't transfer on you, but let's go. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, they've already released the JT Daniels meme-worthy "Let's Ride." Like, how can you not name that guy the starter, right? You already threw him out there with the "Let's Ride." I mean,
so that makes me wonder. So then, who's number? Really, I think it's a battle for who's number 2. Who does number 2 work for? That's what we want to know. Who does number 2 work for?
Well, since you brought that up, who do you think is number 2?
That's a tough one. I'm going to say...
Scoot, I think the goose is loose.
I think the goose is cooked.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's going to be Garrett Green, and I think you're going to see Nico as like the third guy. And my guess is maybe the goose gets loose somewhere else.
He flies the coop.
Yes. He goes south for the winter. My guess is he's going south for the winter.
Oh, I walked right into that one. So I think it's not Garrett, because not that I don't like, I actually very much like Garrett Green, but didn't we have some hand wavy quote from Graham Harrell earlier in the off season where he was like, "Hey, Pete, put the little pants on." And he ran around and blah, blah. He like gave him this really like, backhanded, like, yeah, but like he wasn't taking him seriously. Didn't we have that kind of quote from him? I feel
maybe, but I just feel like maybe they keep him around. I don't want to say this, but maybe they keep him around because they feel bad for how they treated him last year. But I don't know that that's necessarily their thought process, because they don't feel they've treated him badly last year. I don't know. I just have a feeling it's going to be Garrett Green as the backup.
Okay. I'm going to go with Goose until he flies the coop, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of with Scooty on this one. I think it's Garrett Green, and I think it's Garrett Green only for the purposes that he has an extra year in the program over Nico. I think if it came down to it and you saw a situation where JT Daniels got hurt and we were dealing with preparing for next season, let's say.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you'd see Garrett get as much time. I think you'd see a little more Nico
if
to prepare
JT Daniels gets hurt and we're a Hail Mary away from winning a game. Do you want Garrett Green or do you want Nico?
I mean, I've never seen Nico play other than high school, so but I would probably say Nico right now. Like
If we're looking for arm strength, I'm going to guess Nico. I don't know. Right. I've never really compared the two throwing either, but
if we're looking for somebody to be off their rocker and crazy while in the pocket and then run somewhere crazy, it'd probably be Garrett Green, but otherwise.
Here's another thing to think about. Nico's left-handed, so if he's the backup, that's going to change your offensive line, right? He comes in, you're going to have to switch your left and right tackles. I mean, I know it's not that big of a deal, but
yeah, but it's a good call.
It's still a deal.
But it's a good call. Still a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But I mean, it's definitely JT Daniels. Like, we're definitely seeing JT Daniels as the starting quarterback.
Come on.
I don't think anybody's questioning.
Why would he come?
Right.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think it's just a matter. I think you're right, Johnson. I think it's a matter of just making sure some people don't enter the transfer portal at the end of the day. With that said, the transfer portal been not great. It's been active for WVU in the wrong direction, Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, some of this stuff I think wasn't too surprising. Let's start with Lynn J. Dixon. He commits to Tennessee, which if you were going to commit somewhere, I don't know that Tennessee's been doing all the things that would lure you to their program right now in the offseason, but I mean, that's a big name. But Lynn J., I felt, Scoot, like we hardly knew you, Lynn J.
Well,
I mean,
very weird. Does he take classes? How does that even work? Like, did he ever get any classes at WVU? I'm sure he maybe in the spring. I don't even know.
Well, and I'm assuming he came here thinking
he's going to be the guy.
I'm the Clemson guy. I'm now the guy here. Apparently that wasn't working out that way. He moves on. Now, we also had another running back, Guido, Owen Chafin, more recently entered the transfer portal, former Spring Valley kid.
Walk-on guy.
I think he had been in the program like 3 seasons now, hadn't seen any action. I doubt there's any hard feelings there. He's gonna try his hand someplace else. That's not too surprising. The one I think
that's kind of entered the portal to go to a D2 school. Maybe
that's my yeah, right.
He wants to play. Is most likely what's
he wants
he's
to
not
play.
Playing. So
yeah, time's running out. He wants to play. You can't blame him there. I think the one that caught my attention a bit ago was Raheem Jeter. That was the really athletic guy, quarterback. He has since Scoot tweeted a picture of himself in an East Carolina uniform. They're kind of excited about him.
Now
can we just talk about real quick though? So Raheem Jeter decommits from WVU, and I think what irked me the most about it. So he tweets out.
Oh, I know what you're going to say. I already know what you're going to say.
And he says, I decommit from the University of West Virginia.
Right.
Like, come on.
Well, what I think is maybe more frustrating is, if you recall, he got injured. Was he knifed? Was he shot? Some kind of injury. He had some kind of injury here recently, and he had tweeted about thanking all of the support he was getting from West Virginia fans.
Right. Yep.
And then
I do remember that now.
Apparently, the support wasn't that strong. I don't know. It wasn't. He didn't feel the connection shortly thereafter, and has decided to look elsewhere. But then again, maybe they've said, listen, we've got a couple young guys here. We got 4 quarterbacks here. I don't know if you're thinking about coming in and starting right away. That's probably not going to be the case.
Right.
So who knows? We don't know those conversations.
Well, Guido, can we talk about one other thing with Raheem Jeters? You made the comment about the University of West Virginia. Can we talk about one other thing with his decommitment?
Yeah, go ahead.
So first of all, it's in the Apple Notes app, which I feel like Apple should move on that. I mean, they're marketing geniuses. Why don't they just come out and say official app of NCAA football decommitments? You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's always an iCloud note or something. It's always in the Notes app.
Yep.
So that's number one. Number two, he wrote decommit in all caps and then added an underline. Like,
yes,
it's a 1-sentence statement, but if you missed it, I all capsed it and I underlined the word decommit so you know exactly where I stand. And his battery's about to die. Like, this is a mess. This is a total mess. Like, what's going on here? It's a total mess.
It is. It is a total mess. I was looking at that too.
Is it from a friend? Is the friend the one that typed it? Who's this Adam Friedman?
Oh, there's like No, that's the Adam Friedman is the
No, that's who.
He tagged Adam Friedman, and Adam Friedman is the writer for Rivals.
Yeah.
Recruiting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, also ridiculous. Does he need to tag that guy?
I feel like we just explained Twitter to my dad. Like, no, Dad, that's how Twitter works. You can tag people.
It's ridiculous. And I do see, now that you say this, now I'm on here, he's got himself in an East Carolina jersey.
Yeah.
He's got, Rutgers has a new quarterback target. Go to Rutgers. Enjoy that. Like, go ahead and go.
Well, he's making the rounds. So, yeah, probably the biggest one, Guido, that as far as talent loss, at least in my opinion, is Cam Jackson, 3-star defensive lineman. He committed, I think, maybe not the same day, but like the same time as Raheem Jeter. Those came back to back.
So I guess here's my question that goes along with this. Is this just the new climate of D1 football, Scooty, or is this a problem with the university? I mean, it's hard.
Well,
it's every time we talk about this stuff, it's the same thing. But I think for me, it's like recruiting and committing to schools is so different than it was even 3 years ago now.
Unfortunately, I think this is kind of what it's become. It's players and student athletes. There's a lot of things at play. Are they going to get paid? How much are they going to get paid? Where are they going to start? Are they going to get a chance to start? Does the coach seem like they're going to be around a long time? If the coach doesn't seem like they're going to be around a long time, why am I going to commit to this person who's going to leave in a year or two? Are they a coach that's on the hot seat? Is it something where I'm looking at the schedule and I see your coach is on the hot seat, they really want me there, am I going to commit to this guy and then he's gone if they have a rough season? There's a lot of things that high school kids now have to think about, and you throw in the money factor that never used to be there. Now, there's players out there that haven't snapped a football in college yet, and they're bringing in 6 figures, which is ridiculous.
I don't know. I'm just continually concerned about, we get these guys, we get excited about these guys, they commit, and then before they even hit campus, before they even hit a practice, they're gone.
Yeah. Well, and it has to drive people that have traditionally, like, part or all of their job has been covering the already tumultuous world of recruiting. This now has to be just a hellscape of trying to figure out what to write about kids, what to predict, what to rate. It has to be even more difficult than it used to be. But I think you're right, though. I think this is just the new, like, settle in. This is how it works. Be ready to talk about it in that fashion.
Yeah. Other things we should touch base on football wise. WVU has 3 guys that are named to preseason award watch lists. Congratulations to Dante Stills, named to the Outland Trophy watch list. Mike O'Laughlin to the Mackey Award, and JT Daniels to the Maxwell Award. I feel like of those 3, I think maybe Dante has a good shot of. I mean, this is, I think he made a decision to stay around this season to try to help that draft stock a little bit. I think he needed it. Maybe he's got a chance if he gets out there and he plays. Mike O'Laughlin, I mean, unless the offensive scheme has changed drastically, I don't know how much Mike O'Loughlin's going to see the ball. We'll see what happens with that. Maxwell Award, usually for those guys that, receive a lot, are out there a lot doing, in that tight end position. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. JT Daniels to the Maxwell Award. I mean, I feel like that's congrats. But
he's not the starter yet, though.
Right? Yeah,
he's not even the starter.
So there
yet,
you go, Scoot. For the guy that's maybe not the starter, he's on the Maxwell Award watch list. For Mike O'Laughlin, I think he was on that same watch list last year. Now, keep in mind, I think I'm keeping my order of events here correct, right? You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Mike O'Laughlin was injured last year, and that kind of derailed, part of his performance. So I think prior to that, he was, because remember, we went from Trevon Wesco and then right into Mike O'Laughlin. So the tight end was kind of seeing, quite a bit of action, I feel like, in the offense. It'll be interesting with Graham Harrell. If there's a healthy Mike O'Loughlin, maybe he does get worked in here a little bit more.
Also interesting, I find, is that apparently our backup tight end also was named to a watch list.
Yeah, that's a good call out. Yeah, I forgot to add that one on here. That's a good call
Brian
out.
Palendi
Yep.
has been named to the Earl Campbell preseason watch list, the Tyler Rose Award. So, like, this is a guy that, how many snaps is he going to get if he's the backup tight end and we don't ever throw to the tight end? I mean, again, Graham Harrell may change that, but I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think that it's so hard because none of us know what to expect with this hopefully new offensive scheme. So we'll see what happens, guys. Texas came out with actually getting a vote to be number 1 in the nation in the USA Today preseason poll.
Yeah. Do you think, Guido, that was like a homer pick by a Texas sports writer, or do you think that was a legit, like, I'm going to go out here on a limb and put my true feelings on the table and give them a first place vote? I can't decide. When I saw that article, I was like, can't decide what that one vote is. Is that just like a protest vote to recognize them, or what?
I've seen a lot of the preseason, picks and what teams will finish and all that. A lot of teams have Texas only losing 1, maybe 2 games. I still don't know if playing a Big 12 schedule and losing 1 game gets you, a first place. There's a lot that has to go into it, but I feel like, it might be a homer pick. There might have been, somebody in that Texas sports media that put that vote out there, Scooty.
It has to be. It has to be like a relative of Steve Sarkisian.
Well, but I think we'll probably get into this the next time we record with some of our prognostications, but for the season. But the thing that caught my attention with this, so on the heels of that Brett McMurphy, hey, look, they got a first place vote report, we also had this article from ESPN where they use their, the Football Power Index, or FPI, if you will. Guido, you and I like a good stat acronym. So the FPI predicted they would go 11-1 and only lose to Alabama. I mean, that's it. So put that in the context of, we all attended last year's home game against Texas. That Texas team limped into Morgantown, took one on the chin like someone who just wanted to get through their dentist appointment, and then went back to Austin with a losing record, right? I mean, Steve Sarkisian was getting so much heat. So I was just shocked when I saw this. Hey, they get a first place vote. ESPN FPI is ranking them 11-1. I don't know. I mean, we get a lot of hyperbole each year, like Miami's back and Texas is back and blah, blah. And it's like bloggers and stuff. And then that's never the case. But this feels more like there might be, I don't know, is there something here? That just feels like quite a turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, I think, though, this goes back to the whole recruiting and, now getting paid to play. I mean, what was the story that came out when all of this went down a few months ago, where, the average salary for an offensive lineman at Texas right now is something like $85,000 a year. So, I mean, yeah, I think that it's easy to recruit. It was easy for Steve Sarkisian to recruit some of the best players and some of the best transfers when you're guaranteeing kids 6 figures, even for sitting on the bench.
Yeah, well, that's no doubt there too. One other nugget from that FPI rundown, Scoot. ESPN went through and gave a prediction in a percent win probability for each game in the Longhorns schedule. WVU, they play them at home on October 1st. ESPN win probability estimate 89%
against WVU.
Against
89%.
WVU. Feels bad.
Well, listen, I need to see some changes.
I just am seasoning. I'm seasoning next episode by just kind of putting that out there. Lather Scoot up a little bit.
Yeah, next episode, will Scoot pick WVU to win 3 games in a row? That's going to be.
That is the milestone.
Hasn't been done.
Question.
Hasn't been
we'll
done.
see what happens.
Not in 3 years.
Realignment, guys, since the last time we talked, realignment has kind of cooled down a little bit, Johnson. Not a lot of craziness has happened in the last few weeks. WVU or the Big 12 has informed or was informed by the Pac-12 that there is no interest in merging the two conferences. Not sure why the Pac-12 wouldn't be interested, but okay. And I will say too, as always, there's one person who will always make me smile. Gundy just cracks me up every time. He says that he thinks that Oklahoma and Texas, even though they're still in the Big 12, that they shouldn't be allowed to take part in any of the meetings. They shouldn't be able to come to like media day, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he came out saying that he doesn't understand why they're still in the meetings. He wished he wouldn't let them be there. I love that, Scoot. Don't you like? I love that. I want people criticize Gundy. I love that. Like, yeah, he's right.
He's the guy, right? In this conference,
get salty about it.
Well, who else is there in this conference though? He's the guy, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to be when Texas and Oklahoma leave. He's going to be the not to compare their winning records, but he's going to be like the Bobby Bowden. He's going to be the guy that's going to be kind of the vocal, doesn't care what people think what he says. Mike Leach of a little less weird than Mike Leach, but
well, and speaking of Gundy, I put a link in here that they Skylar Callahan had put WVU all-time records versus the quote-unquote new Big 12 that's forming up, and we have a 500 or better record against everyone in this list except 4-9 against Oklahoma State. We continue to not be able to figure out Mike Gundy, speaking of him and the Cowboys, which is frustrating, right? We're winning record, 500 record or better. I think for some reason, Purple Kansas, you might be surprised, Scoot, we're 6-6. Everyone else we're better than that. We're better than 500, except for the Pokes.
I hate Kansas State.
Nobody ever wants to go to Little Apple. Yeah, we've heard it before. We know. So yeah, it's interesting. I think there's still a lot to happen with realignment over the next, probably after football season, maybe even after basketball season, maybe next summer. I think there's still a lot of changes to come, but not a lot of action has happened since. I feel like we saw it last season with Oklahoma and Texas, and now with UCLA and USC. I think that we've seen there's been every summer a big shoe to drop. So I think we're just knocking on the door of there just being complete and utter chaos and realignment in the next year or two.
Yeah, the only thing maybe to mention is it is interesting though, don't you think, that ever since the Big Ten reached out with that scalpel and just completely surgically just crushed the Pac-12 with that Los Angeles market and taking USC and UCLA, everything has suddenly just come to a screeching halt. And I didn't expect that. When we talked about it a couple weeks ago, I thought there would be a ton more moves throughout the rest of the summer leading up to football season. It seems like, now we've heard possible lawsuits and maybe, I've even read articles about, California government getting involved because they're mad at how Cal and some of the other universities are coming out in this deal. So it's funny how that all seemingly came to a screeching halt.
Well, I would imagine that what's happened too is that there's a lot of back channel sort of talks going on right now, because I think when the Pac-12 as a conference said, hey, we're not interested in getting swallowed, because that's really what the Big 12 was trying to do, was trying to swallow the remainder of the Pac-12 in some way. I think now what you're start to see happen is these schools, like the Arizonas, the Colorados, the Utahs, that could be a Big 12 school, are starting to say, hey, you know what? Why don't come over? Let's have drinks. Come over and talk to us, Big 12. Tell us a little bit about you so we get to know you a little bit better. I think that's what you're going to start seeing a little bit more of. I think it's inevitable. The Pac-12 can't. I don't think the Pac-12 can survive in this new form that they're trying to put together, and so it just leaves all these schools open to just being poached.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. I don't by any means think it's finished. I just thought we might have already seen some other puzzle pieces fit in. It hasn't happened yet. So,
well, I was going to say, I think a lot of it is television network related. So there's a lot of financials that go along with this. ESPN is going to drive who goes where ultimately. So that's kind of what we're waiting on, and NBC with Notre Dame is another big factor. So once Notre Dame goes or doesn't go, then you'll start to see other things move.
Absolutely. Some other WVU football things I just want to hit on, guys, before we jump around here is congratulations to Major Harris. Major Harris got a street named after him in Pittsburgh in the Hill District where he's from originally. So congrats to the Mage for that. Congratulations to Pat White, who did not spend a lot of time in the coaching of the colleges, guys, is now going to be the offensive assistant for the Los Angeles Chargers, Johnson. That's kind of a big jump. I mean,
it feels like a huge jump, and good for Pat. I mean, he definitely, to me, that's exciting for him, exciting for Los Angeles. It's just funny that he was, I think, 2 stops, 2 different colleges, and then all of a sudden you're in the NFL assistant conversation. But good for him. I'm interested to see what, how he's used there, what he gets involved with. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that he was he went to Campbell. He was like the offensive coordinator.
With the
Bowie's Creek, North Carolina. Is that where that's at?
Right, the Campbell Camels.
Is that similar to Los Angeles, Bowie's Creek?
6 of one, half dozen of the other. I think probably is how people feel about that. Yeah.
But did he do one season at Campbell, or did he even get through a season there? Did he even get a season there?
I don't know.
They just brought him in.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
And I think before that, wasn't it
South Florida?
It was,
South Florida.
yes. Thank you, South Florida. Yep.
Yeah. So congrats to him. Also, congratulations to 3 guys who just names I love saying, by the way, Johnson. Geno Smith, Tavon Austin, Stedman Bailey, all going to be 2022 inductees to the WVU Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and when I read this, in my brain, I was picturing, remember that poster where they were in bomber jackets and posing as flight crew back in the day? That would have been like 2012. So this is great seeing that move. If anyone deserves it, and if anyone lit up the scoreboard like their teams did, it makes perfect sense for me to see them in this WVU Sports Hall of Fame class.
Yeah, that's cool. And also congratulations to fellow podcaster Mr. Kevin Jones, who's also part of that 2022 Hall of Fame class. So that's awesome for him too. So, and then a couple other things, Johnson, just to talk about WVU. Eric Martin, basketball. Eric Martin decides to depart WVU and become head basketball coach at South Carolina State, I should say.
Yep.
There was some talk about, was Eric Martin going to stay? Was Eric Martin going to go? He's been with Hugs for a while. It's interesting to see him go.
Well, Scoot, I don't think we were shocked, were we? I kind of thought for a while now, a couple seasons now, you kind of thought maybe his name would come up.
I think he had flirted with some other jobs.
Yeah, he's been around. He's been with Hugs now forever. Good for him. I'm happy for him. I hope it'll be interesting to watch how that goes. I think that South Carolina State feels like a place where somebody like Eric Martin could go and build a resume up. You know what I mean? It's one of those.
And Josh Eilert steps into his space.
Right.
So I think that'll be interesting. Eric Martin also had interviewed for the Cincinnati job, I think, or in the offseason as well. So I think he was definitely heading that direction. Speaking of Cincinnati, too, guys, WVU will be traveling to Cincinnati in December as they extend the Big 12 Big East Conference battle that they do, but not playing the Bearcats, Johnson.
Yeah, I love this because it's close enough regionally. I think you can see WVU fans traveling in droves to Cincinnati to support them against Xavier. And Xavier is always, that's always, if you get a win against a team like Xavier, that's a resume builder for March. So I like that. I like that matchup.
And on top of everything else, we've got to get used to driving to Cincinnati again in the coming years. So might as well start it.
Yeah,
now,
you might as well get started. That's right.
Because we will get to play the Bearcats again. We will get to have that old Huggins Cincinnati WVU battle that we want. But for this year, we'll travel to Cincinnati and play a different team. Yeah, guys. So that's kind of everything that we've got going on. I will say we're going to take a break. We're going to come back with a new segment here. Scooty isn't telling us what this segment is. I'm a little nervous about it, Johnson.
Yeah, it's one of those. it's one of those free drop-ins out of Scoot's head segments that we're all going to be surprised about. So stick around.
Yeah, stick around, guys. We'll see what's happening. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Got Your Ears On. Vortec Knives is a West Virginia owned and operated company specializing in high-quality steel, fast-opening, everyday carrying knives. If you go to vortechknives.com today and use the code GYEO, you get a 25% discount on your entire order. That's Vortech, VORTEK knives.com, a West Virginia owned and operated company specializing in fast-opening, high-quality, everyday carry knives. Vortec Knives. All right, everybody, welcome back to Got Your Ears On. Guido here along with Scoot and Johnson. Listen, don't forget, check us out online. You can find us everywhere. We're on Instagram and Twitter at Got Your Ears. You can also find us on Facebook, search Got Your Ears On. And also check out our website, gotyourearson.com. It's sort of like the hub, Johnson, about everything about us. It's all there.
That's right. Latest show notes are always posted there with all the links we talk about here. And you can also click through to the GYEO store and check out our merch there. So check it out.
Yeah, check it out, gotyourearson.com. Well, folks, I get nervous when I have to say this. Scooty texted earlier today, said he's got a segment he wants to share for segment 2, and then that's all he told us. So, Scoot, tell us a little bit about what is going on.
This segment we're calling Two-Step Drops.
Scoot, wouldn't it be 3-step drop?
You don't have time for that third step. It's two-step drops. I'm going to hit you with some quick questions. I want the first thing that comes to your mind.
All
no
right.
time to think.
No time
Ready?
to think.
No
Two-step
time
drop.
to think.
Wait.
Quick slants. Two-step drops.
Hot read. You got to go to the hot read.
Hot reads. That's right.
Hot read. Somebody's yelling Omaha.
I feel like we
Omaha.
need Cloney to come up with some special music for this segment about hot,
We'll have
like
to work on that.
two-step drops and hot reads.
Is this? Can I just ask? Is this about WVU or is this just
WVU,
about whatever's
could
in
be
your head?
football, could be comparing sports, could be comparing people. I want quick answers.
Okay.
You can say them at the same time. I really don't care.
All right. Rapid fire.
Ready?
Sounds like it's gonna be a mess. Okay. All right, Scoot.
Who is going to have the most rushing yards this upcoming season? Go!
Tony Mathis.
I was gonna say Tony Mathis because he's gonna be the number 1 running back.
Not fast enough, Guido. All right, next question.
You got
Who's
sacked.
gonna have the most
Guido, you got
receptions?
sacked. You got sacked on your two-step
Most
drop.
receptions, 2022. Go!
BFW.
Yes.
I don't know if I agree with
Well,
that.
I mean, what is your hot read on this then?
Yeah. What's your hot read on that?
I think maybe Reese Smith.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I mean, I say that, I said BFW, and now I'm like, maybe it'll be Caden Prather. Because remember, Caden Prather.
See?
could
These
be
hot
Caden
reads.
Prather.
Listen, these guys are coming across the middle. You got to get rid of the ball.
I mean, I need a second to think.
You ain't got time.
All right, go ahead.
Who will be done coaching first at WVU? Neil Brown, Bob Huggins. Go!
Neil Brown.
Neil Brown. I'm Neil Brown on that one.
You're that's a loaded question, and you're putting it out there because that's who you think too.
Who will be ranked in the national polls first? WVU football or WVU soccer? Go!
WVU soccer.
WVU soccer.
And they already
That's
are. That's
they
not
already are.
a
They're
fair
ranked-
question. They're already ranked.
Yeah,
I'm just
they're
testing you
they're
guys.
ranked
I wanna
6th
see
in the
if
nation
Guido
right
That
said
was-
something dumb. I'm trying to catch Guido on a dumb answer.
You can't.
They're ranked 6th in the nation right now, right?
Yeah,
Johnson?
that's right.
It's
That's
the
their
highest they've ever
highest.
been.
Kudos to them. It's their highest ever.
All right, you ready for the next one?
All right.
I will. The winner is the person that can spell the women's basketball coach's last name first. Go!
I can't even say it. You expect me to spell it?
Yeah, come on. That's
I
not
think
fair.
isn't there a P with a lot of consonants in there somewhere? I mean, I have no idea.
Neither do I. I just wanted to see if one of you guys would take a chance. Who will be the leading scorer for the basketball team? Go!
My brain is in football mode, Scoot.
Hey, you never know. It's a quick hit.
I got
This is
nothing.
not fast enough.
I got
This is a
nothing.
turnover. You're
on
getting
this
sacked.
thing.
You're getting sacked right now. Best thing
don't
you
know.
can do is run it out of bounds. The correct answer was Emmett Matthews.
Maybe. Why do we let him come up with
I don't
segments?
know. I don't know.
All right, you got another one, Scoot? I thought this was going to be football.
Who
I
will
was
be
ready
the
more.
first named? Let me hold on. Let me think of this. I want to say this.
I feel like he's gonna go like every time I'm in the kitchen,
Hey,
you in the kitchen. The way he's talking.
What company will sponsor the naming rights for the Coliseum first? Go,
Go Mart.
Johnson.
Not Tutors Johnson?
No,
Somebody's got to go
I'm
Tutors.
gonna
You're
go.
frozen.
What?
You look like you were
been
frozen.
No, I'm thinking.
You're fumbling the ball everywhere.
I'm
We're getting
thinking.
all these free
I think it's
advertisements
gonna
out because of
be
Scoot.
like
Feldy
Tropicana.
tire.
No, it's gonna be like Tropicana. It's gonna be like because the Coliseum looks like a big orange juicer. I still stand by that.
I agree with that.
All right.
Okay. Who of the two of you would be the first one to take a swim in the Monongahela?
Guido.
I just want to hear Scooty say the name of the river one more time.
That's actually.
Monongahela.
I feel like there was an extra on or something in there the
might
first
have been.
time.
Yeah. First time.
Mananga.
Guido, you'd be the first one, huh?
Probably.
That's two-step drops.
All right, folks.
All
That's
right.
two. That's
All right.
two-step drops. Bunch of hot
that
reads
is-
right there.
That's a lot of hot reads right there is what that is. It's a lot of... Do you think that segment makes a return, Johnson? What do you think the probability of that is?
Scoot, give us a two-step drop on if two-step drops returns.
Of course.
I think not. Methinks not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the fans have to say. Put it out there on Twitter. Let us know.
I think
Got
it's
Your
on. Let's
Ears.
say
Just-
it's on a watch list, Scoot. It's
Yeah,
It's on a
It's
potential.
the backup segment on a watch list.
It is essentially the.
It's the Palendi of it's the Palendi of segments.
Right.
You're-
Yes.
you're-
You took
it's-
the
it's
words
like-
out of my mouth.
It's like this segment, Josh Witt talking like a puppet, and a couple of
Yes.
other segments. They're on like the Voice of Morgantown best segments of podcasts. Is that what it is? Like award watch list.
And we gotta keeping it fresh.
Keeping it fresh. I don't know if I'd say that was fresh there, Scoot. But thank you. I appreciate you bringing something to the table. It was very nice of you, and definitely got Johnson and I on our heels because there was not enough time for a third step.
Yeah,
Johnson,
that's
There was
right.
only-
You're on your heels by default because you don't even have three
Yeah.
steps.
you got
in
three
that
steps.
drop.
You only got two.
You only got
two
two.
steps in that drop. All right, guys. Well, listen, we should probably wrap it up for this week. We'll be back in 2 weeks, previewing the Pitt game, talking about our prognostications on what we think will happen with WVU, making our annual picks where I pick a bunch of wins, Scoot picks a bunch of losses, and Johnson tries to be somewhere in the middle. And we'll see what happens. I mean, we're Backyard Brawl's around the corner. Football's going to kick in the gear, Johnson. I think there's going to be some wins. There's got to be some wins, right?
Oh, I think there's going to be some wins. I just am not sure if there's going to be enough to make everybody happy, right?
There
Scoot?
might not be some, as in 3 in a row.
Scooting the 3 in a row.
We will.
I'm
I'm
anxious to-
going to say
listen.
there's going to be a couple of wins.
Listen, next show we're gonna be amped because we're gonna be talking Backyard Brawl,
Yep.
and we're gonna be amped up for some prognosticating. So you get tuned in, Scoot. You get tuned in for that.
Oh, I'm ready.
I
I'll be
don't
listening.
think two-step drop will be back on that.
You never
No,
know.
you
out
never
on
know.
one.
You
Never
never
know.
know. You never know when a two-step
on
drop
the
comes
watch
in.
list.
You never know. You never know when a hot read comes in.
You never know. You never know. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back soon with another show. Don't forget, find us online. Look for us on Instagram, Twitter, at Got Your Ears. We're on Facebook. Check out our website, gotyourearson.com. And we appreciate you listening. Tell all your friends. Don't forget to listen, like, and subscribe. We'll be back next week. Thanks for listening to Got Your Ears On.